No question can break down the wall of ignorance as powerfully as, "Who am I?" And no answer can shake the ego's chair, as Ramana Maharshi said, "You are nothing, and in that nothingness, you are everything." That statement makes many people shudder. When they hear, "I am nothing," the mind immediately protests. If I am nothing, who is living this life? Who is thinking, hurting, enjoying, pursuing dreams, failing, loving? Who is reading these lines? That question, in essence, does not require an answer. It forces you to look directly at the person asking. That is Ramana Maharshi's method of self-inquiry, searching for the thinker instead of searching for the answer. In the Upanishads it is said, when the question of self is looked at, the questioner disappears and pure knowing remains. In the Bible, God says to Moses, "I am that I am. I am the self-existing one." Not, "I am this person, I am this body, I am this mind." Just, "I am, pure being." And the Buddha, in one of the oldest teachings, points out, there is no such thing as self, only the process of dependent origination operating. So what is it that is observing, knowing, witnessing all this? That is the question that will lead you back to yourself. And now, let us go deeper. The true nature of self, the mystery of the experienced person. Ramana Maharshi once said, "The self you think you are is just the first thought that comes to your mind when you wake up." Let's stop here for a second. This sentence contains the essence of the path to enlightenment. 1. When you open your eyes in the morning, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Not the world, not memories. The first thing that comes to your mind is the thought. And from that, a whole universe is born. I need to work. I must succeed. I am sad. From that, a whole world is built, but all based on one thought. Without the thought of I, everything collapses. Ramana Maharshi calls the ego the shadow of ignorance. 2. Where does the ego arise? It arises when pure consciousness, Atman, which is just silent presence, takes hold of the body and mind, like the sky trapped in the shape of a vase. The vase breaks, the sky remains. You are not the vase. You are the free sky. But the ego believes that it is the vase. It fears that if the vase breaks, if the ego is seen, it will disappear. Actually, only the vase breaks. The sky does not. 3. Who is aware of the thought itself? If you observe carefully, thought arises. You see it. Thought disappears. So thought is the object. The one who knows the thought is the subject. And that subject cannot be seen, cannot be grasped, but is always present. Ramana Maharshi said, "You do not see the seer, but the seer is always present." When you ask, who is living this life? The question cannot be answered by thinking. It can only be answered by experiencing. For I am nothing is not a denial, it is a liberation. When the enlightened ones say, I am nothing, they do not say it in a despondent or hopeless way. They are saying a subtle truth. I am not the body. I am not the emotions. I am not the thoughts. But in not being something, what remains is pure life, primitive consciousness, all-knowing knowing, like a wave that realizes it is not separate from the ocean. When you see yourself as the ocean, you no longer have the fear of a wave. 5. Deep examples to help you touch reality. When you watch a movie, you know clearly that you are not the character in the movie, but you still cry, still laugh. When you are dreaming, you believe you are the character in the dream until you wake up. When you are awake, you believe you are the character, I, until you wake up. Enlightenment is not about gaining more knowledge. Enlightenment is about waking up from the confusion that you are the person in the story. 6. Open-ended questions, the door to yourself. I invite you to sit with this question, very slowly, very deeply. What is it that knows that I am alive? Do not answer with thoughts. Just look into the vast void of awareness. That void is you, confronting the unnameable, the journey to the source. There is a moment in the journey of awakening that every spiritual seeker must face. The moment when there is nothing left to cling to. Ramana Maharshi calls this moment returning to the source. But before returning, one often faces a truth that shakes the ego. There is no separate I that controls life. There is only life that operates. 1. Why does the unnameable frighten us? The mind feels secure only when it has concepts. It wants everything to be named, classified, defined, fixed. But the nature of life is not fixed. Ramana Maharshi said, "The mind fears silence because it knows that in silence it cannot exist." The unnameable is that silence, a pure presence that is completely beyond thought. But when you step to the edge of that namelessness, the ego screams, "If I let go, I will disappear. If I am not I, then what am I? Who lives this life? Who will be responsible?" It is this panic that has kept people from their true nature from many lifetimes. The Upanishad says, "People tremble before the infinite because they see themselves as finite." But you are not finite. The fear comes from confusion. 2. The journey back is not about going anywhere. It is about seeing what is always present. Returning to the source is not a journey outward. It is the dissolution of illusion. Just as the wave returns to the ocean, not by moving, but by realizing it has never left the ocean. You have never left the source. You are only dreaming that you have left. Ramana said, "You do not need to seek the truth. You just need to let go of the wrong." The wrong is to realize, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the story of my life. 3. When there is nothing left to cling to, what remains? When you let go of all concepts of self, a strange thing happens. You realize you are still there. What remains is not a thought, not an emotion, not a body. It is the knowing that knows everything, still and unmoving. That is the source Ramana spoke of. Nameless, shapeless, limitless, unborn, undying. It is the infinite consciousness, the basis of all experience. In the Kena Upanishad, there is a beautiful saying, "It is the knowing that cannot be known by the intellect. It is the seeing that cannot be seen by the eye." For passing through the door of silence, the only door, when Ramana was asked, "How do I know I am approaching the truth?" he replied, "When questions disappear." He did not mean that there is no more curiosity, but that there is no more I that is searching, because the questioner and the question are one. When the self disappears, the question disappears. You no longer want to know what is the self. You just rest comfortably in the infinite presence that knows everything. That is returning to the source, but in reality, you are only returning to yourself. Ramana's teachings on self-knowledge and the path to return to the self. Ramana Maharshi's core method is Atma Vichara, self-knowledge, or self-inquiry. Who am I? But this is not a question to be answered, but a question to destroy the questioner. Ramana emphasizes, do not seek the answer, search the questioner. 1. Self-knowledge is not about seeking information. It is about turning the arrow of awareness back to the archer himself. When you ask, who am I? The mind immediately wants to answer, I am a human being. I am an emotion. I am a memory. I am an energy. I am a soul. But Ramana says, all the answers are wrong, because they are all concepts. You are not a concept. This question must be held like a fire that burns away all illusions. You must not answer. You must only look straight at the place where the thought, I, is born. It is like pulling back to the root of the river, to where there is no more river, only pure water. 2. The path to self-knowledge according to Ramana Maharshi. Step 1. Recognize the thought, I, appearing. Every time you think, I am doing, I am feeling, I want, I am afraid, quietly ask, what is thinking this? Do not analyze. Do not react. Just look at the thought I. Step 2. Trace the thinker. When you look at the thought I, it vanishes like smoke. The ego has no substance. It is just a movement of the mind. As Ramana said, the ego exists only when you are not looking at it. You do not need to kill the ego. You just need to observe it. The light of observation is enough for it to disappear. Step 3. Fall into the space of the silent observer. When I disappears, a space of stillness, of knowing, appears. This is not a special state. This is the original nature that is always present. It is the self. Ramana said, that stillness is you before you say I. Step 4. Abide in yourself. Self-knowledge is not a flash of light. It is living in pure awareness all day long. You still work, talk, love, but you know that it is all happening in your presence. There is no separate doer. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, action is done by the gunas. The fool thinks I am doing. The enlightened one knows. Life moves. I am just a witness. Step 5. Dissolve into the source. Dissolve into yourself. When self-inquiry becomes breath, when the thought, I no longer arises, you achieve nothing. You only return to what you have always been. Pure, eternal consciousness. That is the self. That is Brahman. That is God. That is the I am that the Bible speaks of. That is the Tao that Lao Tzu describes. That is Nirvana that Buddha points out. All is one. 3. Self-knowledge, the simplest yet most powerful path. Ramana Maharshi asserts, there is no path as straight and direct as self-knowledge. You need no rituals, no need for faith, no need for knowledge, no need for complicated philosophy, no need for self-mortification, no need for retreat. You just need to be absolutely honest with the question, what is living this life? Hold that question like a fire. It will burn away all illusions. Only you remain, but not you as a character in life, but you as infinite life. Freedom from the judge, cosmic wisdom in everyday life. When you go deep into self-knowledge, you will discover an illusion more subtle than all others. The illusion of the practitioner, the one who practices, meditates, makes progress. Ramana Maharshi once said, the practitioner is the last ego to dissolve. 1. Why is the practitioner more dangerous than the ordinary ego? The ordinary ego wants money, status, love, recognition. But the spiritual ego wants to be enlightened, to be seen as profound, to be called awakened, to be special in the spiritual world, to be realized. It is subtle, invisible, dangerous. It can hide behind teachings, rituals, philosophies, energy experiences. It disguises itself as a truth seeker. But Ramana said, who is seeking enlightenment? If that who is still there, it will be the last obstacle. 2. When you let go of, I am practicing, the real path begins. You do not need to practice to become what you already are. You just need to realize that the idea of practicing is not real. When you let go of, I practice, only natural knowing remains. No more effort, no more goal, no more expectation. This is what Zen masters call the path of no use. The Buddha said, there is no one who attains enlightenment, because when enlightenment occurs, the one who has attained it is no more. 3. The universal intelligence will operate through you. When the practitioner disappears, you no longer live from the small ego, but from the universal intelligence which operates all things. You become the speaker without the speaker, the lover without the lover, the doer without the doer, the meditator without the meditator. The Bible says, it is not I, but the Spirit that works through me. The Bhagavad Gita says, He who is united with Brahman, Raman works through him. The Tao Te Ching says, "The Tao does, but no one does." All paths point to one point. There is no one in you. There is only life operating. 4. Application in daily life. Live like water, work like wind. When the practitioner disappears, daily life becomes magical. You don't have to try to be spiritual, because your presence is already spiritual. You will see, every moment leads you. Intuition works naturally. Decisions come like the wind. No more internal struggles. No more forcing yourself to be good, to meditate deeply, to progress. You no longer practice meditation. You are the stillness in everything. You no longer practice love. You are the space for love to flow through. You no longer practice trust. You become the flow of universal trust. 5. Life is no longer a task, it is an expression. When you live without a living person, when you practice without a practiced person, every moment becomes infinitely simple. You do what needs to be done. You say what needs to be said. You are silent when silence is needed. You go when life pushes you. You stop when life stops. There is no forcing. There is no controlling. There is no one trying to create a new spiritual self. There is only one thing, the radiant simplicity of being, and that is the liberation that all paths lead to.